Making noise, Kitna under center, takes the snap, pocket holds, throws, got a man, inside the 10, Calvin Johnson dives, touchdown Detroit Lions!
Guys are big, tall guys, give them a chance.
There it is, the jump ball for Johnson, and the Megatron has it.
Half by that guy. 35-7, Lions next possession, Kitna to his young receiver, Calvin Johnson, circus catch.
Oh, he hurt his back, though.
Lands on his back awkwardly. It's called a lower back bruise. He was carted off.
The Bengay.
Or how about this end around?
Well, you get a guy that's 6'5", 240 and runs a 4.36. He's hard to tackle. Watch his stiff arm here. He's a strong guy, and he's going to be a productive player in this league.
They're away. Next possession for the Lions. Hitting up top to Roy Williams. No, it's Calvin Johnson. That other tall guy.
Uses a 6'5".
They turned it on.
And here's a touchdown pass from Kitna to Johnson. Johnson, of course, has been nursing back injuries.
DIs, no drill instructors on the field today. Juggled and finally dragged down by Calvin Johnson.
Works out well sometimes, but other times it's like this. You try to make a play on the ball and you miss.
The drive at the Packer 47. Kitna's pass caught by Calvin Johnson, who breaks a tackle. There goes Calvin Johnson, touchdown Lions!
Half. The Lions were up, I guess, on a Lou Whitaker solo shot. Here's Orlovsky in the third quarter finding Calvin Johnson. Now here's that big target again coming sort of out of the backfield in motion.
Dan Orlovsky ran out of the end zone. Week.
Sure did.
Was in the end zone here. He did not run out. Instead, he watched Calvin Johnson run by the secondary. That is a really, really, really long touchdown.
Well, Johnson has one catch all day, and that's his second, and that is a first down and more. Johnson to the end zone.
Return, and that was the boo-boo. And then Dan Orlovsky for Calvin Johnson. Touchdown, Detroit up 13-10. And after another Jacksonville 3-and-out, here's the Culpepper that this stadium has seen.
Throw it to the tall guy. He used to have Randy Moss. Now he's got Calvin Johnson. He also can run. Look at him.
He does, and he finds Calvin Johnson to draw first blood on Carolina. And starting well. Just throw it up to Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, there's another up.
Star Caps, guys. Ensuing Lions play.
This is how you answer.
Calvin Johnson.
Beat him off the jam, ran straight down, cut it back in front of him like an experienced
running pass.
So it's 14-3 Colts when Dan Orlovsky finds Calvin Johnson, who's making plays, guys.
Yeah, this is a
142 yards.
Is that all?
Time. He might go prime time.
He might.
Calvin Johnson, double coverage, no big whoop.
We'll use your 60.
Backfield now on 3rd and goal. Orlovsky throwing a little fade, and the ball is caught by Johnson. It is a touchdown.
They're playing better today.
3rd and 8, Orlovsky looking downfield, has a man, it's Johnson again, has a little room, and he gets shoved out of bounds by Nick Collins, but in shotgun. Orlovsky hits Johnson, gets in the middle of the field, and he gets it down to the goal line. Is it a touchdown? It is!
Extra pressure, he's got time. That's complete for a first down and plenty of running room. That's Calvin Johnson. 6'5", and Calvin Johnson has a Lions touchdown.
Looking for Johnson, he's got him inside, touchdown!
Well, they came off the blocks very well. Matthew Stafford throws deep to Calvin Johnson. There's the first play of the game. 4th and 1 from the 1. 2 possessions later, Calvin Johnson making plays again.
Maurice Morris is in the backfield, swinging out. Stafford looking. See that arm strength. Open receiver. We're going to have a tie game. With the extra point, Calvin Johnson is in. Long touchdown included. Stafford. He throws it like a baseball, and here is Calvin Johnson heading down to the 1-yard line. From their own 46-yard line, play action looking for Johnson down the middle of the field. Touchdown, Calvin Johnson. Matthew Stafford. And Culpepper airing it out into double coverage. Did Johnson come down with the ball? He did.
And to get the ball back, less than 2 minutes to go. Sean Hill to Calvin Johnson, and he stays upright.
And he'll throw it. Great protection. Looking at the end zone, and wide open for the score is Calvin Johnson.
Johnson in traffic, and that is a touchdown to Calvin Johnson.
This is what great players do. There's no reason to throw this ball. He's got a guy in front, a guy in back.
Play. 13th play of the drive. Looking end zone for Calvin Johnson.
And defensive rushers. Stanton stepping up. And his pass is caught by Calvin Johnson, and he beats everyone. No flag is down, and he'll go into the end zone for the touchdown.
Balance and went out of bounds.
Stafford completes to Calvin Johnson. Diving for the end zone. He's in. Touchdown. Trying to regain the lead. Stafford gets time and throws. Touchdown, Calvin Johnson. Nope. On fourth down, Stafford throws. Touchdown to Calvin Johnson.
Carlos Rogers just by sticking him inside just enough, and then look at the ball location.
Now, fourth quarter, actually, a rushing touchdown over that receiving touchdown. Sean Hill with 17 ticks to go finds Calvin Johnson. 1-12. Sean Hill had a nice game, 289 yards. Here's a nice touchdown.
That is amazing.
Fake to Aaron Brown. To the end zone, and Calvin Johnson has the touchdown for the Lions.
Leading up to the game they're going to play, of course.
2nd and 8. Sanders was on a blitz. Johnson makes the catch. CBS. Here comes the reverse. Calvin Johnson. Got a nice block on that side to pick up a first down at the Patriot 30.
In the backfield, a long play breaks out.
And then the next play, Stanton to Calvin Johnson, and who's going to take him down?
Nobody.
So just like that, 90 yards in a flash, as Johnson stiff-armed half of Chicago on the way in there.
He's a strong 6'5". He's hard to tackle. He's got great speed, strength.
But Detroit would come back on the ensuing possession. 42 seconds left. High and sky for the grab. Calvin Johnson to overtime, where Detroit continued to work with the passing game. Drew Stanton finding, guess who? Calvin Johnson once again, a gain of 12.
Stafford. Calvin Johnson. On 1st and goal, Stafford, Calvin Johnson. Wow. And that is a touchdown, Lions. Come down with the football and hand it to the referee. What did I tell you? 4 feet over his head, he's open every time. That's a perfect example of it. Gets his feet down, keeps the ball in front of him, clamps down, finishes the whole process of the catch. Now Talib can get up. He's got big ball skills, but that's all Calvin Johnson and that physical talent.
1st and 10 there for the Lions as they keep progressing downfield. Throw to the end zone. Touchdown Detroit.
Well, I was just saying, they continue to put him one-on-one. Chris Cook made the play earlier, but more times than not, Calvin Johnson with that leaping ability to high point the football, catch the football at its highest point. This guy has over a 40-inch vertical.
Play action. Stafford looking, firing, touchdown.
On 1st down all day for Stafford, who goes to the end zone. Jump ball, touchdown. I talked to Matthew Stafford before the game on the field, and I asked him about this very thing, and he said he gets double covered so down. They lob it. Calvin Johnson with a touchdown, but a flag is down. And
lose the challenge to be out of timeouts until the break. 2nd quarter, 3rd and 8. Matthew Stafford. Calvin Johnson. He didn't get 2 touchdowns. Would you settle, though, for 1 and 73 yards? Guys, break this down.
And Stafford gets some time and completes it to Calvin Johnson. Aim for the Lions. Burleson on the end around. He fakes it. Stafford fires to Johnson. Trying to break away. He does. Calvin Johnson goes all the way.
This is a one-man route. If Calvin Johnson's not there, I'm going to have to eat this thing. This was a sellout all the way, but you know what? If I got to go with one guy and one guy only, I think I'd pick that guy. I agree with you there.
Pass out in the flat. Calvin Johnson, 1st down. Gets knocked down to the goal line and with a 1st down. Flags are down, 2 of them. And this pass is caught in stride by Calvin Johnson. And he does a little deep and then steps in.
Accuracy, all of the above.
1st down,
Stafford completes it to Calvin Johnson, breaks a couple of tackles, and Burleson fake on the end around. Stafford drills it, caught at the 35 by Calvin Johnson. Stafford has all day, and he's got Calvin Johnson.
Not so fast. He goes up and gets the ball like he does better than any wide receiver in this league. Look at that athleticism, that concentration. That's what makes him the best.
Hard work. They have guys step up week after week. Here's Johnson. He's been bottled up for the most part. He's non-football act, which could lead to a suspension. Back in the end zone and a touchdown.
So the 6-yard pickup on first down, 2nd and 4. Stafford looking for Johnson. He's got it.
And he's into the end zone. A touchdown for Calvin Johnson. 50 yards to Calvin Johnson. And now on a 3rd down, Stafford finds Johnson again. Still on his feet, crossing midfield. He finds Johnson, who stiff arms out of one. Stafford hit as he threw it, and he gets it to Johnson, and yes, it is a catch.
4-man rush.
Looking to Johnson, who's gotten behind the secondary.
Middle of the field, Rolando McClain on what basically is a Tampa 2.
Johnson in the back of the end zone, and it's a touchdown. And Stafford will throw deep. Underthrown and coming back to make the catch is Calvin Johnson.
Each other's face before warm-ups.
And on 2nd down now, Stafford with time. Oh, what a shot across the 45.
The Lions only have 1 timeout left.
Stafford throwing. Touchdown.
So what?
Stafford delivers a strike and inside the 10-yard line. Detroit down by a point. Fired into the end zone, and that's a touchdown for Calvin Johnson. Crossing pattern, Calvin Johnson, and he's dragged down. Johnson, the catch and shoved out of bounds. What a catch by Johnson. What a catch in traffic again by Johnson.
Stafford to the end zone, and it will be caught by Johnson for the touchdown. Pressure on. Stafford going deep, and it is Johnson making the catch, adjusting, slowing down. 6:20. Johnson to the outside. Gets by Harper, and out of bounds. Stafford to the end zone, caught.
Calvin Johnson. He's got it.
And they keep it alive with Johnson breaking a tackle and then taking the ball.
27 game just a few minutes ago to being blown wide open.
And that's what he does so well. Both feet are in, tucks the ball away.
Throw inside, caught, touchdown to the 100-yard mark. Throwing the seam, there's Johnson, and he's got it.
Downs, 2 straight penalties. Now 1st down at 20. Stafford with loads of time, and Calvin Johnson. Run of the day for the Lions. 16 yards for Burleson. Now Stafford fires to Johnson. Only his 2nd catch. Out and 20 for the Lions. Stafford with time, over the middle, caught by Johnson, inside the 10, the 5, he hurdles. Stafford on 2nd down, over the top to Calvin Johnson, fends off Rogers Cromartie.
Big today, over 100 yards. Literally.
I think he's always big, right? And figuratively.
Still has not been on the receiving end. Said this was a very efficient effort from the Lions offense today.
3rd down and 8 here, picking up 3rd down. That's a perfect pass. He almost got in.
Going in the air again. Stafford has plenty of time and taking a shot downfield, and the catch is made by Calvin Johnson. His career high, looking to break it. And here's the pass, and he does break it to the 5, and Calvin Johnson goes over for the touchdown.
As Stafford rolls to his right, sets up a long one, looking for Johnson. Pass is caught. Pass is caught for the touchdown. Giving the signals to the outside, but watch where this ball is thrown to Calvin Johnson. And Morgan Burnett is
on Thanksgiving, but they've lost the last 8 years on Turkey Day. 2nd and 9, and down the field, a leaping attempt for the catch.
I start looking for the knockdown.
On 1st and 10, Stafford looking for the long ball, and he's got it. Over 200 for 20 straight games. He's got a 1st and 10. He's going to fling it to the end zone, and the ball is caught. What a catch!
At the Indy 40. Stafford pulls the trigger. Johnson!
He needs his one hand. How about sticking that right one out? Pins it against his
playing too. 3rd and 12. Stafford looking in that direction. Now looks to the other side. Stafford downfield throw. Dug out by Johnson. So throw. Stafford backpedaling. A little behind, but Calvin Johnson has it. All the way down to the 21-yard drive. And they're very rare. 7% run team on 3rd down. Here they throw. Here goes Calvin Johnson. Megatron past midfield into the secondary. Hard count by Stafford. Free play. Matthews says pump and go get it, Calvin. And Calvin got it at the 32-yard line.
Quarter delivery and the ball's on the money. That's a beautiful sight.
He's 8th in a row. Stafford has time, throwing it downfield, and there is Calvin inbound.
Man.
It's a 3-man rush. There is Johnson over the middle, catch and run. Calvin Johnson takes it for the 1st down. The 38-yard line. Stafford loading up for Johnson. Caught it at the 18-yard line. Personnel around. 4 yards away is Johnson. Stafford throws. There it is. Megatron into the record books. The single season all-time NFL receiving yardage record.
37 yards receiving a week ago. Did a little bit better on this play.
Oh, see, this is one of those plays. You got him, I got him. No, I got him, and he scores.
72 yards on that touch.
The 10. Stafford up the middle, and it's caught. Touchdown, Calvin Johnson.
Make that play. When you give him that much space, zone coverages, he's big enough, he's strong enough, he's got great hands, and he's got a quarterback that's wanting to deliver him the ball.
On the afternoon, only had 3 interceptions coming into the day. So Matthew Stafford to Calvin Johnson, seen that 100 times.
At 7, Reggie Bush in the backfield. Here's Stafford looking and fires, able to complete. He has Johnson. 3rd down and 10. This time Stafford with time. He throws. It is caught. Touchdown, Calvin Johnson. A right tackle for Hilliard. There's Stafford, who took a hit, firing for the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown, Calvin Johnson. That looked like a Hail Mary at the end of the game. 10. On the slant, here is Calvin Johnson. He's going. Calvin Johnson being chased by 4 Cowboys. Inside the 10 and knocked out of bounds at about the 2 or 3. And here is Stafford's pass to Johnson, touchdown! Minnesota Vikings in week 1. And that's our nominee. Here's Calvin Johnson with a stiff arm. 1st down from the 29. Calvin Johnson reaches out. 1st down at the 20. Once again down by 10. And this time Stafford going up on top to Calvin Johnson, who makes the catch.
This is the consummate Calvin Johnson. Two people draped all over. It's a gift from the football gods.
40 yards. And here is Stafford's pass, and Calvin Johnson.
Later, 2nd and goal from the 4. How about the fade to Calvin Johnson? Yep, 4 yards away, as we've seen so often. Stafford to Johnson. Megatron, who says, Starscream, you have failed me again.
He's in the game. They fake it to Bell. Stafford looking down the field for Calvin Johnson. He's got it to the 35, and Johnson is gone to the end zone on the first play, a touchdown. Up a little bit more for this Lions offense. Stafford, great protection, and that is a touchdown to Calvin Johnson. Second down, and Johnson comes back to get it. He beat Taylor that time.
That offense isn't doing too much. We haven't seen the top receiver in the NFL yet. There he is, Calvin Johnson, 20-yard gain inside the 10 and into the end zone.
2nd and 5. Stafford throwing to Johnson, and he's able to hang on despite the hit. Got to his spot. Another jump up front. It'll cost the Ravens 5. Stafford's got a free play. He's got Calvin Johnson through a tackle and to the Ravens' 45-yard line. 2nd and 11. A Stafford slingshot to Johnson. Calvin takes a big hit and hangs on.
Kicking off the Jim Caldwell era in style. Matthew Stafford, showing some moves there, buying some time, and then finding Megatron. Fellas wide open.
Yeah, you buy that much time down the field. Calvin Johnson, he's too crafty. He's going to get open.
Stone Cops there for a minute. You don't see that very often. All right, here's Stafford again, rolling to his left. Another great catch in the end zone.
Well, right here, Stafford feels Walter Thurman on the blitz right now. He moves out. Now look, he's pointing here to Calvin. Hey, just go to the just go to the Chevy. Just go down the street to the Chevy. I'll get it to you. I don't care where Antrell rolls go.
Patient on both sides of the ball here. Stafford has time for Calvin Johnson. He caught the ball, and yes, the ruling is his feet are in bounds.
Antoine Cason looks like this is the guy they're going to go against today. Calvin Johnson, that was just too big. Hey, it looked like both toes touched into me there, Chris. It'll be interesting on this replay whether or not it's that left foot.
3rd down at 7 for Calvin Johnson, reaching up high.
Detroit. Blitz coming. Stafford lets it fly for Calvin Johnson, makes the grab. Safety over Calvin at all times. The first opportunity without a safety over the top, and you just can't defend that. You throw it up. Sam Shields a 39-inch vertical. So does Calvin Johnson. He actually has a 40.
From Arkansas, 4-year starter for the Razorbacks. Play fake. Stafford dials up the deep ball. One-on-one. It's caught. Megatron is back.
Positioned by Calvin Johnson, and a touchdown for Detroit. 49 yards. Can't cover it any better than Grimes did. A delay of game penalty here. Maybe no.
Stafford take the snap. Rush is coming. Stafford throws. Oh, it's Calvin Johnson with the concentration.
So good he can catch the ball 3 times. There's 1. There's 2. And he hangs on and picks up the first down. In double coverage, you can't even stop him.
Finnegan got a...
Tate at the top has not been targeted so far today. 3rd and 6. And a catch. Right between Fuller and Vereen.
You know, I would say there's only a couple wide receivers in the NFL could make that catch because of his height.
8 seconds. 1st and goal from the 6. Stafford. End zone bound. Touchdown.
1st down at the 20. Pass end zone. Touchdown, Calvin Johnson. Stafford floats it. Johnson back in the end zone. Touchdown. Crowd not a factor at all. Stafford throws sideline. Calvin Johnson gets away from Brandon Carr. Stafford backpedaling as he throws, and he's got Calvin Johnson.
And 2. Stafford gets time. Nobody open. Rolls and throws. Was he in bounds?
Him the nickname Megatron. He loves it, so do the fans. And that pass is caught, speaking of Mr.
Catch, watch this. And them strong enough hands to sort of wrestle it away from Talib. That
for Stafford to throw. And there's Calvin Johnson, who's loose. Inside the 20. Need to get to the 37. Sideline throw. Catch. It's Calvin Johnson, and he stayed in bounds. And 25 seconds to play. End zone throw. Touchdown Lions. Calvin Johnson.
Kings and Lions here. Adrian Peterson active despite being downgraded to questionable with an illness coming in. And Calvin Johnson looking pretty good early on. 46-yard gain there for Matthew Stafford to Megatron 4 plays later. And it's back.
Ball timeout. And now there's 30 seconds to go. Stafford looking for Johnson. He's got it.
They were doing, taking what they were giving him.
Gain of 19. All right, so Calvin Johnson.
Get him.
Boy, when
how to recognize it, but this is exactly what the stripes and Calvin started having a day.
On the rookie from Utah, the second-round pick.
Well, it did work once to help. I don't understand why Walter Thurman wasn't leaning over a little bit more to try and let him help. A lot of nada all over him.
Off the turnover, Stafford back to Megatron, and boy, even Malcolm Jenkins couldn't get it done against 81 today.
Wasn't him that time, but look at it. Long man, big man, touch throw right on the edge, and watch him get the toes down.
From the 17, looking for Megatron, and it's a touchdown.
They're down at 12. Big play for the 49ers. And they convert. It's Johnson. They're going to him. There it is.
They have one-on-one for Calvin Johnson and go back shoulder, working against Porter for a first down. 36. Stafford with time. One-on-one for Calvin Johnson. Lays out. Pulls it in. Touchdown Lions.
Look at the extension.
Wow.